The wealthy can do anything they want. Anything they want. We discussed this and more on today's episode. Welcome back to Around the Weird, a booktube channel where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I found in my travels. And sometimes we even talk about movies. I'm saying we because I am Mr. Nothing, as per usual, and I am joined by Lucas from Strike the Sun,
MD.
MD, Lucas MF, whatever channel he's particularly calling himself or themselves these days. And also, Lucas recently made a video. So
finally, after 11 months.
Yes, I saw it and I really want to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I'll probably watch it later today. So
thank you. I would say it's my best work yet, personally.
Yeah,
I tried hard.
I think the video you did on Mother 3 was particularly hard hitting. So
it's such a good game.
Yeah, I've never even played the game, and you did really well there.
Thank you.
So I'm really looking forward to whatever time you invested in that particular video on Final Fantasy VI, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, link in the description to Lucas's channel. Go check them out. But yeah, today we are talking about a movie, one that is about the bourgeoisie, and a whole lot of sexual assault.
Tell us how you really feel. You're putting it lightly here, I think.
Yeah, it's. I think the word rape is going to be said a lot here. So if I was monetized, I wouldn't be for this video. But today's movie is Salo, or The 120 Days of Sodom, made in 1975 and directed and written by Pier Pasolini, one of the bigger name French directors of his era. And then starring Paolo Bonicelli, Giorgio Cataldi, and Umberto Quintalal, if I'm pronouncing that right, and quite a few other people. So that's what we're talking about today. It is
music by Ennio Morricone.
Oh,
sorry.
Really?
You didn't see that? That was right at the beginning.
I missed it.
The music was pretty good.
I was trying to figure out where the captions were, but
sorry.
That's interesting because he also did, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and he might have done the one for that movie we watched, the spaghetti western.
Il Grande Silenzio. I think he did.
Yeah, and then also for the Battle of Algiers. Ennio Morricone gets around, so that's impressive.
A round of applause.
Yeah, and this movie is well regarded. It's well regarded, but it's also hugely controversial, and just infamous for being one of the most depraved, uncomfortable, just weird.
Icky.
Yeah, icky movies that people watch. Like, a lot of movie critics won't watch it. They'll regard it very fondly because of what it's doing and how successfully it does it. But it's just so unsettling. Another interesting thing is there's a funny bit that that someone I followed on X at one time, Twitter. They posted like a thing where Ice-T tweeted, "I'm going to watch Salo in a couple minutes based on the recommendation of a friend," and then Ice-T never posted about it again. And they're just like, what did Ice-T see there? It's just so funny. But yeah, people talk about it. It's weird. What are your initial thoughts here, Lucas?
I was pretty grossed out by the movie, but I was mostly pretty impressed by the way that it felt like a real film. I was expecting, I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, I was expecting something like a Serbian film. If you've heard the rumors about that, where
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but I guess it's like a way to express the importance of free speech is the idea behind the director. But the way people talk about it seems like it's actually just like how fucked up can we get, and also why the authors barely disguised fetishes and this kind of thing. But this felt like a real, genuine film. Very well. I thought it was well directed and well, like, well filmed. Like cinematography was pretty
Mhm.
solid, and I don't even think I noticed the music outside of the intro because I was so like my face was just constantly mouth agape and in shock. Um, I liked it in terms of it didn't really feel like propaganda. I mean, it's like it's clearly showing this is what fascists are. They are people who don't have any respect for humanity at all, and they will use and abuse you. Uh, I guess it's also a critique of capitalism in some ways, which we can talk about. Um, so I can see that. I felt like it was a very effective critique in that sense. And despite the horrors that were going on, I didn't feel it was like as strange as it is to say. I didn't feel like it was a gross out horror. I mean, even though like a third of the movie is eating poop.
Mm.
um, I didn't. I don't know if I'm just desensitized as a 21st century man. As I told you, like two girls, one cup is more disgusting than this. I guess because it's actually bodily waste coming out and whatever. But also, I think it's more violent than this movie. But still, I actually really like the film on that sense. But I didn't enjoy watching it. So I gave it a 2.5 stars because I felt like it did what it wanted to do. It did it very well. It was fucked up and hard to watch, but it never felt like this. And to me, it never felt like it was going too far. It felt perfectly logical for what it wanted to do and what it was trying to say and what the characters would do. As fucked up as the movie is, to me, it felt like that makes sense. I don't know if you felt the same way exactly.
Yeah, I kind of expected worse as well, based on
Yeah.
what you were saying. But at the same time, it's still I do think we're kind of desensitized based on what we can see with the
Mm.
internet and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's still very horrific to see what's going
For
on.
sure. For sure. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, despite the desensitization, I was still kind of like, oh my God, what the fuck? Pretty grossed out and disturbed by their behavior. I feel kind of bad because the first like 30 minutes before they're in the house, I was like not really laughing, but sort of nervously chuckling at these libertines, as they call themselves. These just complete nut jobs who are so divorced from reality that I don't know, the way that they acted was like I didn't know how to respond to it except to laugh until they were in the house, and then it was just horror from there.
yeah, yeah. So we can get into the movie.
Mm.
An important note: this takes place in Salo during World War II. Salo is a region of Epstein's Island, or it's a region of Italy. I kept thinking that during the movie, that like these people are like like very good substitutions for our modern politicians, but also Mr. President kind of looks like Dana Carvey, like a Dana Carvey character.
Yes, he does. I didn't think that when I was watching it, but now that you say it, he looks, yeah, I see it.
Like he
Oh
looks
my
like he's
God.
like Dana Carvey trying to be George H.W. Bush or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was very, very interesting how this movie's already parodying itself. But no, yeah. So it takes place during World War II. At the movie, at the beginning of the movie, a bunch of citizens are being rounded up, and we also see four men with nicknames talking. There's the president, there's the magistrate, there's the bishop, and then there's also a fourth one who I can't remember their name.
The president, the duke.
The Duke. There we go. Yeah, four men and their four women friends who used to be prostitutes and are very into sex as well, and are abusing people and also trying to train some of the people that they kidnapped on how to properly pleasure others.
Sure. Well, hang on. We need to explain how did the kidnapping and their selection take place, which was basically using black shirts to catch people and run them down. And if they, became a problem, possibly, or they tried to run away, boom, shoot them. I was very confused at first because I was expecting, okay, they're fascists. I guess for them it doesn't matter, but I was kind of surprised that they had studs, like they were the first group of people that they were searching for were like they were looking for somebody with the largest member, and they were very pleased with the ones that had the largest member, and they were talking very freely about basically how much fun they're going to have or something like that. And then, yeah, they have those guys start helping to kidnap. One of them runs away. They try to take 9 young men and 9 young women. One of the boys runs away and gets killed. They go to a girls' orphanage or something. Not an orphanage, but I think it was an orphanage because there was only girls there. They were all very, very young. And then there were some women maybe showing them off, taking their clothes off. And like the way they talked about the girls was like they were actually just meat. You can see young breasts, beautiful supple breasts or something to please any man or whatever. You can see her vagina is blah blah blah, her ass is this and that, and the four are enjoying the show. One part that I thought was funny, or not funny, but like made me laugh in a nervous way, was like they didn't like the first girl, or they wanted to see more, and they brought in another girl and stripped her down, and then she smiles and she's missing a tooth, and I think it was not the president, the Duke, the one with the beard. He gets up, wait a second, and like opens her mouth, get rid of her. And like he was disgusted by the fact that she had a slight imperfection, that she was missing a tooth. And I felt like this was like that guy was a real piece of work. There were a lot of things that guy said that were very disturbing and did. But I don't know. To me, that was kind of like this element of like how fascists can be very obsessed with. I guess it's not cleanliness, but like this sort of like perfection or cleanliness. I don't know how to describe it. It rang true to me that would be something that they would be like, you have to be the perfect specimen for my enjoyment, or this whole thing is without cause.
Yeah,
Also,
it felt like an auction essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
All these,
Yeah, it was an auction.
these weren't humans; that they were just cattle.
Yeah, definitely. And also, they all marry each other's daughters, which becomes super fucked up very quickly. That's the first part of the movie. Then they're looking for the dudes with the biggest cocks, and then they're rounding up young boys and girls to as uh, cattle and take them to the villa to do all sorts of debauchery.
Yeah. So they're essentially just abused at that point. Sodomy is rape is done towards them, and then the movie's divided into sections. Like the circle of shit, the circle of blood, and I think there's another circle that I'm forgetting.
Mania,
What was that?
manias.
Okay, and so uh, like a bunch of the senoras are they all talk. So like Senora Vaccari talks about like Professor Gentile and how he like essentially sexually violated all
Oh,
of
wait,
his
wait, hang on,
students.
hang on. Before we get to her, you're forgetting another scene. And right when they get to the house, the libertines tell their slaves the rules of the house, and they use the black guards or whatever they call them, the studs, to run off the servants in the house who were listening in on what's going on. Yeah, they tell them you're going to be slaves. Here are the rules. If you break the rules, there will be severe consequences that you will find out later. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. You can't have sexual relations with each other. That is only for us. So on and so forth. And they were very strict with those rules. And this led to a lot of rape and other debauchery as well. But I also read that the breakdown of the sections was like Dante's Inferno or something.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the first part was anti Inferno, like before hell, basically.
Abandon all
Anyway,
hope, ye who enter here.
yep. Who was the first Senora? Like,
Vicari.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because, like she talks about Professor Gentile who, um, like like sexually violated his students, including Vicardi. But it's
Mm.
also kind of funny because as all of the Senora stories continue, like they feel like it feels like they're trying to be extravagant and that they have like this captive audience because no one's gonna listen to them, you know, on their own. They're boring people. All their stories are boring and self-important. It was I felt very pained having to listen to these awful people just talk about these things that nobody really cares about. And also the movie kind of feels that way too because sometimes it'll shift away and like you'll hear
Mm.
them jawing on in the background and it's like the movie's like yeah we don't care what she's saying either.
Yeah.
And the kids will be
Oh,
like,
she also flaunts around when she's telling the story. She's like dancing because only three women tell stories, and one of them is always playing instruments. And she seems to be the only one with a conscience, which we will see later. Because whenever something horrible happens, she's always the one to take a look with a sympathetic eye. But yeah, her stories of enjoying being sexually assaulted as a 7-year old and so on and so forth. These are like, these stories are told so frivolously, despite how horrible the content actually is. It's incredibly jarring and also like banal and kind of boring and nobody cares at the same time. Like there's something so weird and uncomfortable about not only the content of the story, but how it's presented and the way that the people have to the four libertines are like sitting there enjoying and trying to fondle their toys, and their young men and women are all like naked and suffering just having to listen to this crap.
yeah, Yeah, like I do have to commend the actors and actresses who portrayed the slaves, because they look so disinterested and uncomfortable just being there. Like
Mm.
that's exactly like how you would probably feel in that situation. Like none of them are particularly happy, except for maybe the two women who get together, the two young girls. It's just it's an uncomfortable time for everybody.
Mm. They have a dinner, and the daughters, their wives, are serving everybody naked. And one of the black guards, I forget what his name is, um, decides to rape one of them. And then the president intervenes, so to speak, by pulling his pants down and mooning everybody,
Yeah,
and then going over next to the, I don't know if that's his daughter or the woman, the daughter he married, or one of the other two. But then he tells the black guard to rape him, and he's just like loving it.
yeah.
And that, everybody's laughing at the pain that they're all suffering. The suffering. They showed somebody who tried to run away, right?
Yeah. The
That was.
child, I keep calling them children because they don't look that old. But like they're trying to like they have to teach the children how to pleasure. And then one of the girls is just like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh
They
yeah,
stick her in like a closet or something, and when she gets out, like she's dead. And they're just like, yep, there's a dead child here, and nobody really cares.
yeah. And yeah, I remember they also during the dinner they pulled out the doll, the sex doll with the
Hmm.
cock, and then they're like showing how to do it, and yeah, they show the dead body and this kind of thing. Then oh, because she like the masturbation is like not going well, don't they test everybody out by masturbating all of them in front of the libertines? And then is that this part or is that in no, it's not in the circle of shit. They find two people who come first, and one is a girl who at the auction was crying because she missed her mom, and that who died trying to save her from this fate, if I
Yeah,
remember right. And that really made the Duke excited.
but he does
Oh,
something to her.
during
He does something to her later in the movie.
yeah, we'll get to that. During the rape of the daughter and the not of the president, he sings a song that is a very fascist song. It's like our countrymen fought hard and bravely, and now they're dead in the ground. We honor them, or something like that. Um, like all for the sake of the country, etc., etc. Um, he says a lot of interesting things about like giving rights and freedoms is an abomination to humanity, and there needs to be, I don't know, like the Ubermensch or something like that. Um, anyway, they find two, one boy and one girl, and they have them get married,
Yeah,
and then
like they're like consummate the marriage, and those two people try to have sex, but then they're like, wait, the flower is for us, and then they like two of the men like go and like
orally
yeah,
service them. Well, it's not service because it's rape, but or rape them with
yeah,
their mouths.
hmm,
And then the priest takes fucks one of them, not one of the libertines. Um, maybe the president. I don't remember. Doesn't really matter. Um, and then they are all. I think because of the next story that Senora crazy psycho lady tells. I forget what it was about, acting like a dog or something like that. This gave them an idea to make everybody act like dogs, and they're all barking and begging for food and getting whipped when they don't want to do it. And one of the daughters, I believe, of I don't know who, I think it's the priest, gives her some bread with nails inside and feeds it to her once she complies and begs like a dog. I think it's the president's daughter or the duke's. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Uh, but they feed her and she bites into it and bleeds out. And then I think the circle of manias ends
Yeah.
and it's the circle of shit,
Uh,
which
Senora Maggie is talking next.
I hate her. I think
Yes.
even more than the first woman.
But a quick note is before Senora Maggie talks, like she's putting on makeup and she hears airplanes outside.
Yeah.
The only sign that there's an actual, well, not the only sign, but the one of the only signs where there's an actual war going on outside, and these
Mm.
people do not care. Like they proclaim to love their homeland, but they're inside abusing children, abusing young people.
Yeah. And you know the like I don't know for sure what that home was with the girls, but like they're fascists. You know that these children are not like they are the youngest they could find. That like this is I'm sure the actors were of age because they're all naked all the time in the movie, but like I get the feeling they were 18 to 22 playing 14 or something like that. Yeah, it's really fucked up. But they definitely deliberately chose young people who had nothing going for them. Circle of shit. Would you like to explain what Senora Maggie has to say about her youth and her wild days?
Yeah, I think she just talks about her various prostitution stories
Yep.
and how people were like focused on her ass. And I think that even
The
extends,
president asks to see her ass because it's her best feature. I remember
yeah,
that.
it's a nice ass, I guess. I don't,
Yeah.
there's also a focus on poop and shit.
Yeah. I was going to say when she showed her ass, my first thought was, she poops from there.
Yeah, I guess that's a weird thing to think, Lucas.
Just kidding. I was just making a joke. I didn't think that. But I knew immediately, oh God, her stories are going to be about eating poop. And they were.
She develops a
And
mania breaking eggs with her ass.
hell yeah, Simone. Get it, girl.
Uh,
Now, I will say, when I saw the title card for Circle of Shit, I popped. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be horrible.
yeah, they're forced. The young people are forced to eat poop.
Well, hang on, you're just skipping ahead. They are. What has happened? They're not just forced to eat poop. She is telling a story about how she quite unabashedly stuck her ass into someone's face and shit in his mouth or something, or did whatever. Quite unembarrassed. I remember seeing this in the subtitles a lot. Quite unabashedly, quite unembarrassed, quite gladly, or something like that. I was, stop talking. You need to suffer the most. One of the girls, the girl who got married earlier, the scene before, she starts crying because, if I remember right, this Senora Maggie under the guy, not the guys, under the instruction of one of her clients, killed her own mother and told the story of doing that and how happily she did it and how exciting it was. And this made the girl cry. And that turned on the Duke, who
He says
then
that
went
he
on a.
killed his own mother as soon as he could. That's disturbing.
Yeah, my eyes just like bugged out when he said that. I was not surprised at all, but I was like, oh my God, these people. Anyway, then he just also goes on about not only killing his own mother and how gladly he did it, but how she'll get no sympathy from him because it just makes him more excited, more erect. And then he has an idea and he pulls down his pants, drops a log, and forces her to eat it in front of everybody.
Yeah, and she's just sitting there crying, and it's just very like he yells at her. He like shouts at her to eat it. And the
Yep.
insolence of not listening to him.
Yep.
It is very sad. This is probably the most uncomfortable part of the movie for me.
Same. I hated this part, even though at the beginning, like, I wasn't actually excited to see it. I just felt like it's getting worse, which is why I popped off when it said circle of shit. Anyway, that was a very hard scene to watch. And then after that, it doesn't get any better. It actually just gets worse because, well, she's begging God to save her, which was one of the rules: no acts of God. I, I, I don't know. Even though I'm not religious, like this thing, like the way they, I think having the rules and having the characters break them every so often, like that really made it clear to me. Like this is not just a shock film, like a Serbian film seems to be. Like this is actually a genuine piece of art. Like I already kind of felt that way before, but like the way they respond and react and oh, you did break a rule. Well, there's a consequence for that. I don't know. There was a consistent internal logic that made me feel like that flipped the switch. It was in this scene that was the hardest to watch, but it made me feel like, okay, I'm watching something great
Yeah,
in a bad way,
yeah.
something that it deserves. I can't ever recommend this movie, but something for the freaks of the world. They deserve to watch it.
There we go.
Anyway,
Yeah.
there's a wedding between not the president. I think the president gets married again later.
Mm.
The not the duke, the magistrate, I believe.
Is it everyone but the
There's
bishop?
no, that's later when they're all dressed as women, which I want to talk about that. I really want your thoughts on that. There's like a wedding reception. I think it's the magistrate and one of the black guards, the one with the biggest cock, I think, because I think they're having a secret affair behind everybody. Because we see them going to town later and really enjoying it. Anyway, this was the hardest one to watch visually for me, and the most messed up scene in a way. Because at the wedding reception, like before this, they decide, the president decides, I want to have a feast. So let's collect everybody's stool. And then they check in on everybody to make sure they're not holding out any of their poo. And they get angry at one girl. I think they write her up as a like criminal who broke the rule because she complains like the food you give us isn't any good. And it went through me and I couldn't help it or whatever. But anyway, they're collecting the stool. And at this wedding reception, everybody eats shit. The guards, the libertines, the slaves, and the libertines are like with a big smile on their face. Everyone else, the guards, I guess, also probably had a smile on their face, but everyone else is like,
Yeah, nobody wants to eat it. It's gross.
yeah, the two girls who like each other, they've also been talking to each other about like wanting to get out, um, so on and so forth. I think they exchange a look, and I think the piano player also continues to look on at what's happening and feels bad. Does nothing, but feels bad. Then they decide they want to see which of the slaves has the nicest ass.
Yeah. And
And
again, cattle, dehumanization here.
yeah, they don't even see their face. They have them face down, ass up, and they're inspecting and they're talking about like, well, it's not really fair if you have a bias toward one gender. I think it was males or something like then or female. It doesn't matter. If you're biased toward one gender, then you're going to be, motivated by that sexual desire for seeing a penis or seeing a vagina or whatever under the ass. And they're debating it so casually while they're looking at their cattle, basically. And they decide to up the ante, and whoever wins gets murdered.
Yeah. They just decide to shoot them, and they pick a boy, and they hold the gun to his head, and then they're like, "Psych, not really."
Not.
Specifically, he says, "We would never kill you. We want you forever and ever. If we kill you, we just bring you back eternally." Which again, Dante's Inferno, hell, torture, all of that kind of stuff coming up right there.
Like, yeah, we have total control over your life, basically. You have nothing. You have no control. You are dirt to us. We will use you how we please. Basically what they're saying. I believe it in, and they also promise a much worse death in the future. This is too easy for him, if I remember right. And then that ends, and we get the circle of blood. I was expecting blood drinking at this point. This is when we have the wedding between the studs and the libertines. Please share.
No, I believe the other senor talks, but yeah, they just have a weird ritual where they're like, "We're ready to get married," and the bishop marries them. I mean, there's not much I can really add there. It's all kind of horrific, and it's all like they have these rituals and these specific ways of doing things, and it's
Sure. Well, one thing that is maybe interesting here, like maybe not so much because they've already done so many things that are like against traditional values or whatever. The libertines dress as women, and I believe one of them gets upset when they're like not respected, or somebody does something during the wedding ceremony that like pisses one of the duke off, I think, and he goes on a tirade about rights or something. I don't know if that triggered anything in your mind, but when I saw them dressed as women, it really reminded me of like when the IDF started attacking Gaza a couple years ago. There were a couple stories that came out early on that were like the IDF soldiers, after killing a whole bunch of people in Gaza, what they would do is they would wear the women's like underwear of the people they killed and like just laugh about it. It had nothing to do with being trans or anything like that. It was just like pure domination. And I don't know why that it's not exactly the same thing, but I just felt like as soon as I saw that from these guys, That's what popped into my head. I don't know if something similar came to your mind, or you just like, well, they're libertines, so they just do whatever.
No, well, I didn't think of that, but that's a good point. But I do think, had these men encountered someone who was actually transgender, as did happen in Italy and Germany at the time, that person would be sent to a work camp, or possibly just straight up killed. But it's okay for them to do it because their sexual preferences are okay. Their
Yeah.
weird rituals are like they get to do all that because they're the dominant of society. They're the perceived
Yeah.
alphas, and that happens even in this present day where it's you got to ban gay marriage, but it's okay for you to have like a gay lover on the side or something.
Yeah. Grinder breaks down every time there's an RNC thing going on, or the Charlie Kirk thing in Arizona, right?
Mhm.
Grinder has its highest activity in a while. When last year the RNC Grinder not shut down, but like broke or whatever, because there was so much activity in one specific area, which is where the Republican National Convention was. Searches for trans porn, people they seem to hate, goes up in Arizona around the Charlie Kirk thing. Rules for thee, not for me.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
pure, I am the dominant. I do what I want. Anyway,
Yeah, after
this,
that, like they sort of check in on the people at night, and
mm,
it's kind of a funny scene to me where I was just like chuckling. Is everyone just starts ratting on one another?
yeah. Well, it makes sense. They want out. They don't want suffering. Like there's the lesbian couple, right? I forget who else there is.
There's
But
Ezio, or like one girl has like a photo and she rats on the lesbian girls,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
the
that's
lesbian
right.
girls
Uh,
talk about Ezio.
Who's banging the black woman, the
Yeah,
servant?
yeah,
Uh,
and he reveals himself to be a communist.
yeah, that was amazing to me. At first, I was like, when he did the this thing, I don't know why I didn't recognize immediately what was going on, but I was like, why would like okay, he's doing this. That must mean something. It didn't click in my head right away because as soon as he does this, it flips back to the libertines and they all like jump back.
Yeah, because they see someone with actual moral principles, and they're like, "Oh God, this what's this guy gonna
Yes,
do?"
not only that, but somebody with agency to some degree, right? Despite the how they've been trying to break these people down, like this man still stands for something. They haven't gotten to him. So what do? They destroy him. They kill him immediately, and they kill the black girl, who I don't think had a name. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't recognize immediately. He's communist. Oh, he was the one who had the father he was trying to get back to, if I remember right.
I don't remember that part.
It was when they were first picking out the boys. It was a small line. I don't really remember exactly. I think it was Ezio. Anyway, that was a cool part. Not just because he was communist, but it was like seeing them jump back and kind of like they were scared of him just doing this.
Yeah,
Like these people have been doing so many horrible things, and just seeing that a communist freaked them out for a second. That was pretty cool. That
their
was
future
probably my.
undoing, because people like them would just they get
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
and hung
yeah, yeah,
upside
yeah.
down, and after the communists took back control of Italy, or the people took back control. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
And then they decide that everyone's going to get tortured. They do save a couple people, like Umberto gets to replace Ezio, but
Yeah,
they decide to like punish everyone who has not been forthcoming here,
yeah.
and that involves a lot of mutilation, people being like just cut,
Scalped,
burned.
burned,
This scene was hard to
hanged.
watch.
This was horrible, and they were just each of the libertines had a chance to watch with binoculars from the inside. Umberto, who has escaped this fate, I mean, you don't see him doing anything because he stays inside, but he's like becoming one of them. He's he's buying into the program because he's getting erect watching the torture, and I think it's the Duke who is like jerking him off and saying like, "Good, you're learning," or something like that. They're branding them as well, if I remember right. They're killing them.
Yeah.
All the ones I really, if I remember right, all the ones who got the blue ribbon were killed. The pianist is horrified by what's going on, and she kills herself.
Just
She
jumps out a
can't.
window.
Yeah, she jumps out a window and dies. Finally, she did something. Something good happens in this movie.
And the last thing that happens is two of the people, Bruno and Claudio, are dancing, and I think one of them asks the other, "Hey, what's your girlfriend's name back home?" And they go, "Oh, Marguerite." And it's just like
Margarita, yeah.
time, something exists outside of this horrific moment, but also they're going to go back to that, like someone's going to go back to Marguerite afterwards and just continue their life as if World War II, as if fascism, as if this horrific set of events did not happen, and people are going to pretend like that was just an aberrant time rather than the fact that these people are cruel and inhumane.
Yeah, these monsters exist within our society. They're not isolated,
Yeah.
right? They can go do their sick things, but they will return to their daily lives, right? That was pretty fucked up. That was, I think, the a perfect punchline to the horror of this whole movie. That I did not enjoy watching, but thought was very good.
Yeah, just a wildly uncomfortable, disturbing movie. And by the end, I was like, I can't watch this. Let's just. There's 20 minutes left. Let's just get through this. It became increasingly hard to watch because of all the unfortunate, horrific events and the fact that these people exist in our society today, causing nothing but immense suffering because they are awful people. I will say there's two quotes that I didn't mention. One is that the I think the one of the wealthy people says that the bourgeoisie has never hesitated to kill its children, and nothing is more contagious than evil. Like that's why some of the boys join the group at the end. It's just like they're
Yeah.
it becomes normalized and they're just like might as well do it. I don't want to be the one getting the boot on my neck, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
they're
become,
scared, right?
yeah.
So they don't want to have that happen. So it's kind of like that idea of like black cops are worse than white cops because they want to prove themselves, even though given the opportunity they would be in just as much trouble or whatever, even though they're one of the good ones or something like that. Like I think that's the same thing happening here
Yeah.
for
As
these
Ice T
guys.
says, sorry, Ice Cube says, black police showing up for the white cop
Yeah.
from Fuck the
Um,
Police. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I guess we mentioned earlier that it critiques capitalism. I think it's like pretty clear when they're all being forced to eat shit, like they just feed you garbage, right?
yeah,
I don't know if there's anything else really, but the consumer is like buying them
yeah.
as people,
These
this
are
kind of
these
stuff.
people, these human beings are commodities to be traded amongst each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those things pretty much, and also how dehumanizing it is in a sense. Anyway, now for the age-old question that I don't think is possible to answer, but I'm gonna force your hand this time because last time you said I don't really relate to anybody. Uh, which character do you relate to most?
I was thinking about this as I was like, Lucas is going to ask me this question, and I'm going to hate it. I guess the person I relate to most is the boy child who jumps out of the truck at the beginning of the movie and gets gunned down. It's like that's what I would do in this situation. I would try to run. I'd get killed, but It's better than the fate that they're left to. Like you either get killed early on or you get scalped at the end of the movie. You pick one, and getting gunned down pretty early on seems more like a better use of your time than just going through all of this trash.
Yeah, I would say I probably relate to him the most too. I mean, it's kind of hard. Maybe I would relate to the girl that missed her mom the most. Because if I was in this situation, I would definitely be like, I miss my mom, man. I just want to go back home. Not to make a joke of it, but
Yeah.
there's nobody to really relate to because, I mean, all the slaves do get little bits of. Also, they kill their daughters. That's another crazy thing. All the daughters get killed.
The bourgeoisie
Who
has
are?
never hesitated to kill its children.
There we go. There it is. Um, this says a lot about society, fascist society. I don't know if I really agree that evil is contagious. Under certain conditions, definitely,
Inaction is contagious, which
for
can be
sure.
confused for evil, where like, you don't want to do anything because, if you stand out, then again the boot will be on your neck. So
Mm.
you might as well say nothing or
And it enables evil too.
yeah,
So
the
there's that.
enabling people. Yeah, there you go.
Mm. Yeah, there's nobody really to relate to, though. It's just like everybody suffers except the libertines, and they don't act like human beings. They act like monsters. Um, yeah, I probably relate to the boy who ran away and got shot right away.
This was a weird video to make because we just talked about awful things for an hour, and then also, who's gonna watch this? who's gonna who
I will watch it.
Okay, well, but who besides you, because anybody who's seen this doesn't want to talk about it again, doesn't want to go through it again, and nobody is going to click on a title that says Salo or the 120 Days of Sodom. If you made it through this entire video and are not scarred, or even if you are scarred, just comment something below. We'd love to hear from you.
I'll tell my mom to watch the video.
Please don't.
Or,
She deserves better. She deserves so much better than that.
well, I don't know. Anyway, that leaves it up to me
Hmm.
to choose our next movie. I already told you a movie I want you to watch. If I didn't just watch it, I would have definitely saved it for next month. So, what we're going to do is we are going to head to jolly old Ireland.
Oh,
And we are going, because we haven't watched an Irish movie yet. Oh, found it. Wolf Walkers.
with walkers.
Wolf Walkers.
Wolf walkers.
Apparently, the Irish wolf used to be a huge part of Irish culture before the British hunted them out of existence or something. It is an animation from 2020. I've only seen The Secret of Kells. That is an excellent movie. I would recommend that. It has a 4.2 star rating. Some people call it the Irish Studio Ghibli. So it should be, if it's anything like The Secret of Kells, it will have some darkness for sure. But it will be palatable.
Hmm.
Compared to what we just went through, no amount of darkness will compare. It should be a good time.
We
Wolf
made it through the other
Walkers.
side of Salo, which is good because
Mm,
I would have made us watch it at some point, regardless of whether we did it for this. But
mm.
I'm just glad we're through talking about it because now I just want to forget about it until the next time I think I should watch it again.
You know, when you first said Salo, and I told you you've activated my trap card, my first immediate gut reaction was, then I'm gonna choose a Serbian film and make you watch that.
Mm,
But even before I watched the movie, I thought, actually, I've heard about a Serbian film, and I have zero desire to watch that. And if you, for whatever reason, decided to torture yourself again, if you play me, you play yourself. I will make you talk about every second of that movie. Don't choose that, please.
I won't. I've heard about it culturally. I think I even looked up the like description of it at one point just to see what it was
Yeah.
about. I don't really have a desire to ever see that. Like I'm sure it's an
Yeah.
interesting free speech kind of a thing, but I do not desire watching that amount of suffering.
Yeah, I read the synopsis, and I saw it was like against censorship or whatever, and my first reaction after reading the synopsis was that actually maybe censorship is good. So haven't seen it, but I feel like if I did, I would feel like freedom of speech should not exist, and nor should general masses be able to make art or something. I feel like from what I read, I would be very upset in a way that this didn't make me upset. I was upset, but in a good way, kind of. But
Okay.
I think I would just be angry.
Well,
Anyway,
we'll
Wolf
watch
Walkers.
Wolf Walkers. But so we'll watch that. We've come to the end of the video, of course. So let us know in the comments if you have anything to say about this movie or our review. I have a feeling we'll get some pretty strong responses out there if this video isn't immediately taken down or anything like that.
It probably will be. You'll get a copyright, not a copyright strike. You'll get a strike against your channel.
Yeah.
I had one once because I was talking about Homicide, Life on the Street, written by David Simon or something, and I was talking about the drug trade in Baltimore because that's what the book talks about, and cops and stuff. And my video got deleted, and I got a strike, and my channel was almost terminated because of that. And all I did was talk about what the book talks about. So good
Okay.
luck.
Yeah, so again, comment, let us know your thoughts. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, not only to my channel, but Lucas's channel. They make pretty high quality Final Fantasy videos and other such things from time to time. And until then, we wish you the best of luck in your weird and libertine type travels. Hopefully not. Farewell.
Farewell.